Proper Throwback Thursday. This is Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, Still Dre, a song written by Jay-Z, the greatest of all time. 12 minutes after 8 on Capital FM, Limpopo Side of Frequency. Chester Mayifo was asking earlier on, when is Philip Skuman in the building? Because December is done, festive is finished. Well, Philip is joining us in studio. He's the owner and the founder of REMAX, and he's a property guru. He's going to be educating us this morning. A lot of people are buying stands as an investment in what they believe could soon be developing areas. But should you be buying a stand as an investment? We are getting into that conversation up next.
A little more than just an X on the ballot paper. It's about self-doubt, knowing what to never. What I want, where I'm going, and who I want to take with on this journey. Because to me, it's not just a vote. It's my democracy. I own it. So show up and register for what you stand for. Show up for togetherness and equality. From Bombela to Oudtshoorn, Mangaung to Litselborg. Bring your green barcoded ID, smart card or temporary ID certificate. Stations open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 3rd and 4th of February 2024. Or register online by going to elections.org.za or call 0800 11 8000. It's your democracy. Own it. This message is brought to you by the IEC.
Tim Collection and Mpoma Shida serving up the best breakfast in the north.
Compliments for the new season, Philip. Welcome to the show. Welcome to 2024. How are you doing?
Welcome, and thanks for having me as always.
As
Good
always.
to be back. Missed you guys.
Yeah, I missed you as well. We're glad you're back. And today we're looking at property speaking. And here's the thing. You're driving around town. You're driving around a township. And you see an empty land, an empty stand. And you're told it belongs to someone. But you're not seeing what they're doing. There's no activity. Nothing's going on. Some of the reasons that are very popular for people to buy stands.
So most people buy stands because it is the cheapest entry point into property. And yes, that's true. All property, they don't make more of it. So from a general perspective, people tend to think because they don't make more property, or technically, this would be a good investment type. But what happens, and let me take you back about 15 years ago. Banks were approving 100% loans on stands. And this was wonderful for the market because a lot of people bought stands. And it sort of grew the value and as time went on, and because of the demand being able to be supplied. After, about 10 years ago, the banks stopped doing 100% loans on vacant land. Similar with plots. I mean, everybody in town wants a plot. The reason they can't buy a plot is because of the deposit. Same thing with a stand now. You need to put about 40% at least.
Okay.
Well, depending on your credit profile, you might get away with 80, but the banks are never going to put that on their paperwork. They'll just approve you because of your profile. But to get back to it, so because of this, the bank's not borrowing money or 100% loans anymore. There's a drop in demand.
Sure.
And because of that, the growth isn't there. Okay, so well, it's there, but it's very slow. So, if we use an example, let me say I buy a 500,000 rand stand. Okay, and this is municipal land. This is not the horsey land that we also need to touch on. Okay, so I'm spending on municipal land 500k. A year from now, I'll probably be able to sell it for 505. But the levies, rates, and taxes cost me 10 grand. So I've lost 5 grand on the investment for the year. And this continues year on year. So a lot of people see this, big businessmen will see this as a tax write-off and whatever. So they buy stands in numbers. They've got millions to blow. So he's like, I need 10 stands. I don't care where they are.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I need to spend money before the end of the tax season. So that's what a big businessman does. But me and you, being normal investors, normal people in the market, we want to buy a stand to enter the property market.
Sure.
I would rather say, if you're not going to build, don't buy a stand. Honestly, because you're just going to be wasting money. We see it daily. Many people can't even afford to sell the stand because they owe too much on rates and taxes, etc., etc. So now you can't even break even. So now you're stuck with the stand. You are now stuck with something that's going to bleed you dry because you can't sell it, and it's going to keep attracting expenses.
Sure.
For that reason, I would say stay away from the stand if you're not going to build, because it's actually the brick and mortar, and we've spoken about this, the brick and mortar on the stand that adds the value. Now it has a secondary income, a liquid return, because you can rent it out. A stand is not generating any income, dead weight. A property is that same weight, but it generates income. You get what I'm saying? Or I'm talking about a townhouse or something. So as an investment type, it's a lot better. And I would rather buy a small townhouse in Sunnyside for 500k and rent that out because it generates an income. Now I'll buy 20 of those small ones instead of buying 20 stands, because then my investment would have been better. But a lot of big businessmen, they don't have the time to do that, or the management, so they just want the stand. And then they'll sell that 20 years from now because now it's an asset. It's like they just want to grow asset base. And that's why big businessmen buy up 20, 30. I was with a client yesterday. She says, I want one of these 3 stands. I'm like, no, it's the same owner. He's not going to sell any of them. She's like, why? He's not doing anything.
Sure.
He doesn't care. He's not selling them.
Unless you are cleaning money. Because that's what happens a lot. I mean, I went to an auction recently, and the stand was owing rates in Texas for about 111,000 rands. And there was a businessman there who was willing to pay just about anything.
Just to buy it.
Just to buy it. You know what I'm saying? But to buy in an estate or to buy in a township, what would you advise?
Okay, so township again, and this is the problem, Hoshi land. Why is the value of Hoshi land 20 grand, 10 grand for a stand? And municipal land 200, 500. Why? Okay, services. But it's regulated. The banks are willing to borrow money because it's regulated. The problem with Hoshi land is there's supposed to be an office with a lady that captures data and that files them, that data. So now it's regulated. Now we know whose stand belongs to who, and there's a whole system behind this. It doesn't exist. It doesn't really happen as it should in the Hoshi land. So now there's no value. Now you've got to pay cash the whole time. And you will always be beholden to the Hoshi, not the law of the land. Because sort of, Hoshi law, it's sort of whatever the country, whatever Cyril says. This is my village.
That's true. That's true.
I'm the king.
100%
That's
true.
exactly what it's like.
Yes.
So depending on which Hoshi, you'll find the stand values are higher. Because this Hoshi is more trustworthy. This one keeps his word. See that sort of thing. So I would not see this as an investment at all, because you can never resell it. Now you buy a stand for 10 grand, you build a £1 million house because the bricks and the mortar and the windows and all of that's going to cost you a bar. So now you're sitting with $1,015,000 investment. You'll sell it for 300. You've lost money. That's not a property. You shouldn't lose money. You see what I'm saying? Because when we're going to regulate this, because I think it's coming, and it should come at some point. I'm actually putting some focus on it at this point. It's a market that I want to develop because it will triple South Africa's GDP. And it's just going to be good for all of us. Imagine your salary tripling. With the same expenses.
I think you need to copyright that idea, because you've been on it for some time now. Someone is listening.
Well, actually, we are seeing movement underground. I'm sure you've picked it up, especially in the province in terms of the space that you're talking about. So we see a bit of movement. So
I must not give away my ideas. I need to get paid too.
Get on. Thank you so much. That's Philip Screaman, and he's the broker and owner of REMAX.
Thanks, guys.